welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and you know what, ever since Rogue One, I had an idea for a Star Wars story, and I decided to make it. I have done part 1, go ahead and check that out on my channel if you guys want to. There'll be a playlist at the end of this video, or a playlist card that will come up, all about Star Wars The Rise, my fan-made book. I have written part 1, I have put it onto YouTube. You guys seem to really enjoy part 1, so here I am doing part 2. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will of course narrate it, but I am not a professional speaker or a professional writer. This is just a fan-made story made by me, Star Wars The Rise, part 2. Let's get into it. Chapter 7, The Dragon's Abilities Revealed. A few days later, Dash is dodging pebbles thrown by Kaven using the Force. He has a wooden stick that was carved in the shape of a sword. Kaven holds another in his hand. He struck towards Dash. Dash blocks, then a small rock flies towards Dash's head. He jumps back, hits it with his sword, as Kaven jumps and intensely goes for the kill. He stops just centimeters from Dash's chest. "Why didn't you block?" he asked. "Couldn't you sense my next move?" Dash took off his blindfold. "Yes, master, but I couldn't respond in time." "Oh, well, then why didn't you use the Force to move your sword?" Kaven asked. Dash looked up. That would be great, but I don't know how to do that, master." Kaven, with a shocked look on his face, says, "Oh, you know, it never occurred to me you didn't know how to move things with the Force." He puts away his wooden sword. "Well, that will be your next lesson then, Dash." Dash nodded in excitement as they heard a big boom come from the ship. Kaven and Dash run over to the cloud of smoke coming from it. Lit comes out coughing. "Finn, okay, I know it looks bad, but I actually fixed the hyperdrive to an extent. We can use some of it." "Great," says Jarv as he heads towards them. "That means we can finally get back home." "Yes, but I have more issues to deal with. We can only jump hyperspace one time, and we're low on oxygen." While all of this is said, Dash's head turns as he tries to figure out what they are saying. "What's the closest system?" Kaven asked. "MD3? Lit calls as MD3 comes out with a small box. "It's actually Utah." Dash said with a confused look. "Is this something to do with the Force?" Dash asked. "Heh," Kaven laughed. "I forget sometimes you come from such a primitive planet. Come here, Dash. Let me show you our galaxy." He puts his hand through it and doesn't feel anything. "This is a hologram. It's a projection from this little cube. On it, we can see the map. It grows every day. Now look up." Dash does. "You see, you grew up on a planet without a star, but most planets don't have a force tree helping them survive. Most planets have a star to keep them warm and thrive. Across the galaxy is more stars than you can imagine, and even more planets. We're somewhere off in this space." Kaven pointed to an area just off of the map. "Yes, technically we go any further and we hit out of the galaxy. We're the closest thing we have to get to seems to be Octopa. Assuming our directions are not wrong." Dash nods and looks at the map. "That doesn't seem to be far," Kaven laughed again. "If we flew normally with our ship, it takes us 200 years. But in all accounts, it takes us 9 million to get to the inner rim of the galaxy. Dash looked at them with a shocked face. How old are you people? Lit laughed. Never ask a lady that, hun, she said. Look, we use hyperspace to jump through space. It's like a hole in space. It's called a wormhole. They're scattered all throughout the galaxy. Sending energy through, we use a hyperdrive to dive into the hole and surf through the energy until we want to come out. There's a whole microscopic network that has been mapped, creating the hyperspace lanes. But you have to be careful. If you come out, you might hit a rock or a star. It could destroy your ship. What's worse is coming too close to a planet. Then the gravity of a planet can damage the ship even more. Jarv then chimes in from there. We can make what should take us 200 years, and only do it in a few hours to a day, Lit continued. But there's even more problems. You see, biologically, life forms like us can't survive the constant strain of that. Our ships are equipped with gear to minimize the effects as much as possible, but any more than 25 hours and the body can't handle it. Even if you go 20 hours, though, you'll get sick. Okay, how long will it take us to get to Europa? Dash asked. Well, maybe 12 to 24 hours, give or take. We're not certain how close we are. There's a bigger problem, Lit said. You know how we breathe air, right? Dash 9. Well, there's no air in space, hun. So we have to take it with us. We do that by storing air in tanks. However, thanks to Kaven's sister, when the ship got damaged, so did the air tanks. In fact, they got destroyed, MD3 said. Great, so we don't have air? Jarv said. Not exactly, Lit said. I fixed the ship with the primitive technology I found along with the droid parts, but I can't fix the big air tank. However, there are the personal air tanks. They're a bit dented, but I can fill them up easily. However, they're small, and there's only 2 of them. For one person, it could be 12 hours or so. That ship is a cargo ship. It's meant to have 2 crew, and that's it. MD3 don't matter, obviously, he's a droid. Thanks, I feel wonderful, the droid said. Shut, Lit yelled. There's only 2. If we used it on all of us, we have 6 hours each. That isn't enough for the trip, she said. They all looked at each other for a moment. So 1, maybe 2 can go. The droid doesn't matter, but Lit started, but was interrupted by Kaven. I know what we can do. First, I'm dead. I can't die. I just get cold. Maybe can't talk for a bit. I won't die of oxygen. I won't die of no oxygen. You can believe me. Jarv and the kid can share a tank. You two know how to meditate. You can slow your breathing, focus on the force. Lit, you must sleep. If you do, you'll use less oxygen, being in a coma-like state. Me and MD3 will fly us to Europa. It's a gambit, but a risk we must take. Dash then noticed. Bo can't come. I can't go. I can't leave him, he said. No, boy. Bo is in a Zavarath. He'll be fine in space. It's where he comes from. Just put him in the car, in his cage, in the cargo. Make it comfy for him. He'll probably stay in his shell. I'm sure he'll be fine. And if you're wrong, he asked. That being has more power than I can imagine. He'll be fine, boy. The creature came from space. He will be fine. They do as planned. It all works for a while. Bo didn't stay in his shell, though. It seems he was fine in the vacuum of space. He also didn't stay in his cage. He was a smart beast and figured out how to undo the latch. He went up to Kaven in the pilot chair. Kaven patted him on the head. Yep, just fine, as I thought, crazy beast. All was going well, then Kaven jumped to hyperspace. Bo looked up and out the window, dazed by the flashing stars. He loved it. He was having a blast. Kaven was happy to see Bo enjoying himself, kept him occupied, while he flew the ship and everyone else pretty much slept. But then Bo wanted to get closer. He stepped on Kaven, making him bellow in pain, a bit as his sword fell. Then Bo sat on the sword. Oh no, Kaven thought as he tried to push Bo off before he turned to stone. The blade started glowing. Surely Bo would be a statue if Kaven didn't do something. But Kaven, being so weak, couldn't lift him. Bo noticed what he was sitting on and got up on his own. He then picked up the blade with his claw. He examined it, especially the blood-red crystal. Kaven was confused. Why is the beast not turned to stone? Then the dragon clenched his claw onto the crystal, and it glowed red, then white. It was now a white crystal. Kaven could hear its song. Forever it seemed to scream in pain as it sung, resonating with him. But now it sounded at peace. Kaven understood what happened. The beast somehow purified his father's bloody red crystal. Kaven smiled, and then pulled themselves out of hyperspace. They were near a planet according to the sensors, but Bo was saddened from the ride. Then Bo seemed to get an idea. He clutched onto the side of the wall. He spread his wings and started to glow. Kaven didn't know what he was doing, but then suddenly they were flushed right back into hyperspace again. The dragon is a living hyperdrive, and it was faster than Kaven has ever been. But this wasn't good. If Kaven doesn't get Bo to stop, they'll all die from hyperspace madness. He reached out to the Force and told Bo to stop, but it wouldn't listen. At least, not to him. Kaven then talked to Dash. Dash, it's me, your master. Bo is crazy. If you don't get him to stop, we'll all die. Reach out to him and tell him to stop. He will listen to you. Dash nodded, then focused hard on Bo's mind and told him to stop. And he did. Well, they came out of hyperspace. They were near Alderaan. That's a halfway across the galaxy trip. Took only in a few moments, thanks to the Zabarath bow. Kaven explained what happened to Lit, and they landed on Alderaan as nothing more than visitors that needed some ship repairs. Alright, and I hope you guys liked the chapter. Here you can watch part 1 as well as the entire series. And here you can subscribe to me as well as watch my latest video. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Bye.